Okay, Lucid Dreamers, we're back for week 3. Also, another exhausting week, but I gained a lot from it. It's going to be really interesting. This week was about recovering a sense of power. This week may find you dealing with unaccustomed bursts of energy and sharp peaks of anger, joy, and grief. Oh, yeah. You are coming into your own power as the illusory hold of your previously accepted limits is shaken. You will be asked to consciously experiment with spiritual open mindedness. And I think I remember last week I said I don't want to guess what all of that is going to mean, you know? But I think I made the right call by doing that. Because when I look back at this past week, I see again that I've been doing a lot of looking out to understand what's within, you know? The world around me truly reflects the world within me, right? And I think recovering a sense of power has been the theme for the week. I don't know if it's because I know I'm in this week, so I'm more conscious of the fact that that's where I should be right now. That's what I should be learning. But that is the lesson I've been learning this week. And not necessarily by going through the books and going through the tasks that she's telling me to go through or my morning pages or this or that, it's just what life is bringing to me right now. When I look at the sub chapters in here, the first one is anger and accepting it as a real emotion and a real source for, for action, for creativity, for who we are. It's real. We might not always like it or enjoy feeling it, but it's real. Synchronicity, I'm seeing shame, dealing with criticism, and doing detective work on my life, growth. You know, there was a lot of looking at the people around me. Let me put it like this, right? There was a lot of looking at the people around me who shape my environment and looking at them and putting them over here. And then also in the same breath, looking at the emotions that might come with being around these people, right? Anger, shame, the people who help me feel in sync with who I am, the people who take me out of it, the people who make me feel bad for doing things and this and that. I think I think it's been really exhausting going through that. At the same time, I know that it's one of the things that I've been struggling with my whole life. I I know I don't really struggle with it as much today, right? I intentionally always try to live my life, you know. But growing up, I never had that sense of like, oh, I know this is powerful. I know what I want. I know this is possible. I know who I am. I know what I can do. But whenever I want to do something, I'm shamed for it. Or if I get something, you know, it's very easy for people to ask of me, but I've never felt it easy to ask of other people. But what I think the biggest takeaway from this week has been was noticing that the more time I give to myself, it's so easy for me to then give to other people. And I mean, I'm tired because I'm chasing Leonardo da Vinci, man. I'm chasing the artist, the the intellect, the philosopher. I'm chasing everything. And I want to bring them together. I think that is art. Art isn't just paint on canvas, drums on guitar and you know, like art is a cohesive pastiche of everything that God created and gifted us. And, reshaping it and allowing Him to speak through us so that we can gift Him back by like just playing with the beauty of everything. So I just, I can tell I'm getting so excited to just live life more and more all the time because I don't feel anymore that I'm just living for other people, or even when I do things it's only like met with, oh, you did this, which means that you can do this for me, or you know I no longer feel drained when I talk to the people that I love spending time with, or I spend time with them. I can search for them, I can look for them, and I can be like, hey, you know, I just went out and I went on my own adventure and I did this and I got that and I'm full. How can we, come together and just experience and, the beauty of being, as a group. I love the scripture where two or more gather, God's presence is there. I love that. And I feel like in life, prayer isn't just our Father God who art in heaven, it is a way of life, right? Like communication isn't just verbal. Communication uses the whole body. Communication is in the nuances of how we think. Communication is in the spirit. Communication is in the way of life. You can see how someone lives life and you can interpret from that. You look at how someone lives their life and you can interpret from that, like they sending you a message of the type of person that they are. So again, it's very important to be on your own path and take control or take accountability and responsibility for your own life, understanding that you don't have control, right? He has control and no one else has the final say. Be and live according to his blueprint, move and make sure that in whatever you do, you're making sure that you are living out what he put aside for you, what he's kept for you all these years before you were even born. He knew like, oh no, you're gonna get that and that, and this is for you, and I'm gonna make sure that if you go for that, you're gonna be good at it. Like you're gonna be good at it. I got you. Just chase that. And not everyone's gonna understand you. Sometimes you won't even understand yourself. It will be the random people you meet on the street who get you, and it will be the people at home who you grew up with your whole life who won't get you, right? It'll be the random person on the street who gives so much to you, and it'll be the people at home closest to you who might be the ones who are taking everything from you, right? And I'm not saying that's the situation I'm in necessarily, right? I don't think I'm in that situation. I think I'm surrounded by really good people. But there is a lot of give and take in this world, and you can't give if you feel like you don't have. And we live in a world of abundance where we can always give, but we need to make sure that we're also taking time to like refill our batteries almost. It's almost contradictory. That's life, yin and yang, all of that. But the duality of life is that as much as we are abundant beings in who we are in the spirit, we serve an abundant God. We also need to make sure we're taking the time to almost refill the infinity so that we can share in that abundance with the people around us. And so I loved this week. As tired as I am, I loved this week. My artist date was, and I always do this at the end of like at the last minute, at the 11th hour. I always choose my artist date so late. And I think it's because I spend all week thinking my artist date should look like this and getting in my head and getting in my head. And then at the end of the day, I go, oh, I have to do something now. And because of that, I just Do. And I think that's the biggest lesson the artist dates are also giving me is just do, just be. What do you want right now? I just want to go look at the sky. Go look at the sky. I just want to be indoors. Go be indoors. You know? And this time it was, I really want to be around physical music. I love CDs. I love CD players. I love vinyls. I love records. And I was talking to someone about it this past week. And so that made the most sense. Because ever since Musica left, I used to spend hours in Musica. I used to just go there to hold the CDs and look at the writing credits at the back and the track listing and the album arts and this and that, you know? So I found a record store in Northcliffe and I just woke up, boom, I guess I'm going to Northcliffe. Went to Northcliffe, had a great time. I looked at almost every single record in that record store, taking pictures of some of my favorite like covers, you know, getting ideas, being in awe of how people back in the day would be able to create such amazing covers, you know, without the digital tools that we have now, without the camera qualities that we have now. Like it was so creative. It was so free, you know. They were just doing their own thing. I found a couple records in there and I thought I was gonna leave without anything. Yeah, I ended up so I told myself, hey, if I find this one album, I'm not leaving it behind. And so I actually put it up. Hold on. 2 seconds. So now I have the second record in my collection, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. I think I really wanted to get this record because the first time I listened to it, I did this thing a couple months ago where I created a playlist. I was studying music and I went all the way back and I started, I think, 1920. So I went from the 1920s all the way till now and I tracked how music progressed and who were the big sounds and the big names like in every decade and oh this person learned from that person and oh that sound came out of that sound and on my way up I'd always known about Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. I know the cover very well, everything. I'd never listened to it. It started playing in the background because I left it playing. I had been like switching between the songs whilst I was like looking at everything, but I left it playing and it changed the way I thought about music. The fact that they were doing that all the way back then, I just thought that I get why people have that as maybe like their greatest album of all time. You know, I don't know if it's mine, but it's such an amazing album, which I think represents the type of innovative thinking that I want to have going into this next phase of me being an artist. So yeah, and I got a lot of good ideas for my next cover. I'm working on an EP. I have a really good idea of what I'm trying to do. Just keeps piecing together, man. I'm so excited. So the tasks for this past week were describing my childhood room. That was a really fun exercise, like just being there, putting my mind there again. 5 traits I liked in myself as a child. Like my child self, like what did I like in them? And I can't remember what I said actually. Favorite foods, accomplishments. I said number one, that dude always wanted to be the best. I've always been competitive, and as a kid, it was not different. I just always wanted to be the best at everything that I did, and I would get really upset when I wasn't the best. I think I've matured into the type of person who can, internalize that emotion properly. But I really always just wanted to be the best at everything. Number two, I believed anything was possible, and the older I get, the more people try to rip that away from me, but I think I've been able to hold tight into that too. I just think anything is possible. I don't think anything is impossible, right? I love to laugh and have fun. I think I still do, but I think I put myself in a lot of situations where I try to be more serious a lot of the time. But I think I I'll thank my friends for keeping me really, really joyful, really, free to have fun. Because otherwise, I don't think I'd be laughing as much. I think, I'd still be happy, but just laughing that much, and I love my own presence, but I can be really silly when I think they give me space as well. Like, sure, I can be, you know, funny or silly at home or by myself or whatever, but I'm grateful to have people in my life that I can actually just be free with like that. Study the greats. Yeah, I would. Oh no, I would be on that internet trying to study the greats all the time. I try to do that too. Right now, I don't think that's changed at all. I don't think that's changed at all. Wasn't afraid to like what he liked. I think that's one that left me for a period of time. But I'm getting back to it because I did notice that I was filtering myself a lot for the people around me. But back in the day, hey, if I like something, I like something, bro. I'm not gonna try and. But I think when I got to high school, I started just I got tired of not being the only one who liked this thing and that thing and, you know, people laughing at me for it. Even my own close friends used to do that all the time. But yeah, that was really fun. I had to do 5 childhood accomplishments, list 5 childhood favorite foods, and buy myself one of them this past week too. I chose pizza. 3 rotten habits that I have right now. This was really important for like self-reflection, just making sure I can get rid of those, to be honest. Listing 3 of my nurturing friends. I was able to spend time with one of them this past week, which was really good. And I think I spoke to all 3 of them actually. No, I spoke to all 3 of them this past week, which was really nice as well. 5 people I admire, and then 5 people I secretly admire. And what do I like about them? And yeah, man, I'm just having a great time. So I went to the record store. I got the vinyl. I went to this Italian restaurant because I love Italian food. And I haven't done that in a very long time, just gone and like sat somewhere by myself. And I love it so much. And then going to a museum of illusions. I guess still being in my Leonardo da Vinci era, like those things intrigue me so much. Like just the way our brains perceive the world and how we can trick it to think certain things and how we can manipulate light to do this and do that. And I've been having a great time. I'm having a great time. So yeah, man, I almost missed a morning page this past week. I missed my one today though. I should make up for it before I go to sleep, but I think I'm on time. And I can see here, one of my check-ins was, did you experience any synchronicity this week? What was it? And I forgot about that, but yesterday, one of my friends who lives in Europe, they went on a trip to Poland and they posted a picture where they were like in a almost kaleidoscope mirror, and I did the exact same thing that exact same day. And we'd been talking because it was her birthday, but the fact that we spoke about like reconnecting and then that happened, that was just an incredible time for me. I don't charge everything to coincidence, so I love stuff like that. So yeah, week 4, recovering a sense of integrity. This week may find you grappling with changing self-definition. The essays, tasks, and exercises are designed to catapult you into productive introspection and integration of new self-awareness. This may be both very difficult and extremely exciting for you. Warning, do not skip the tool of reading deprivation. So I still need to read this. I'm taking this on a Sunday instead of my usual Saturday. I still need to read this so I can catch up with my week, but I'm excited for that too. I love the word introspection because I love to introspect. And yeah, I think this is the first week I have started feeling a lot of pushback from the people in my life as I started to take more control over my own life. I can tell that there's pushback for like, why can't I tell you to do this thing? And why don't I know this? Why are you doing this and doing that like that? And teach people how to treat you, teach people how to treat you. And I'm just sticking by it. There's a lot of lessons to be learned here, and I pray I continue to learn them going into life. That's how wisdom is built. But if I'm not allowed to live, I can't cultivate the wisdom. So, yeah, y'all have a good week. Stay blessed. Peace.